To start on the next chapter, just for the last 20 minutes, so I don't have to rush next week through this. This last chapter is on social psychology. How does the culture and groups influence people? As I go through this chapter on social psychology, I'm going to give you some very famous experiments. A lot of these experiments are not done anymore because it may have put people in danger through the experiment. A lot of these experiments, I'm going to ask you, would you do what these people did? And most of you will say, no, I wouldn't do it. Okay? My guess is the research says, yes, a lot of you would be doing this stuff. That's how powerful group influences are. Okay? It's how powerful group influences are. One person does it, the other person does it, the other person does it. Okay? And groups start developing that way. Social behavior. Humans are social. Humans are social animals, and we want and need to be around others. What do you think? It's important to me to be around others. Now, this chapter is a little more disjointed than the other chapters. The other chapters seem to flow a little bit better. This chapter has this research, then it jumps to this research, and jumps to this research, and jumps to this research. So it doesn't flow as well. But is it important for you to be around others? Okay. And the majority of you say yes. Some of you no. Some of you, depends upon my mood, all right? 24%, that's there. Is it important? Yeah. Okay? Most of the research says, do we have a need to affiliate? And the answer is yes. You've heard the term humans are social creatures. Okay? We do like to be around others. And since we like to be around others, then others may have an influence on us. In times of trouble, humans affiliate. I'll get back to A in a second, but in times of troubles, humans affiliate. When things aren't going well, people like to come out and be joined together. You saw that after 9/11. Okay, all of a sudden people were out in the streets and talking, in malls talking, and went to churches more to talk, to be around each other. When there's a fire in a building on the street or in a house on the street, all the neighbors come out and get together and talk. Churches forever, religious institutions forever have tried to help people in need. Places to get together with others. Social comparison theory. The social comparison theory says, since we like to be around others, we have a tendency to compare our lives to other people's lives. We have a tendency to compare what goes on in our lives to other people's lives. So tell me, are you smart? Are you athletic? Are you attractive? A lot of the answers may be compared to who? Okay, compared to who? Because we have a tendency to compare ourselves to others. If you came from a very small high school where you graduated valedictorian of your high school, graduate class of 15, okay, you may have thought throughout school, God, I'm really smart, I'm really smart, I'm really smart, I'm really smart, because you compared yourself to the people around you. Then you decided to go to UT, because you got in very easily because you're in the top 10%. And you got in there, and all of a sudden you start failing all your classes. It was like, what happened? I'm really smart. Compared to who? Right? Compared to who? That's there. Are you athletic? Compared to who? Okay? But there's a tendency we make up our minds sometimes as we begin to compare ourselves. Are you wealthy? Compared to who? Okay? Compared to Bill Gates? Well, no one is compared to him that way. Are you attractive? Compared to who? Do you feel odd because you're the oldest person sitting in this class? Because you compare yourself to other people who are a hell of a lot younger than you? Okay? I don't know if you do or not, but we have a tendency to compare ourselves to things. And once we start comparing ourselves to other people, then it affects what? How we think, feel, and behave. That's there. I'm not saying this is good, okay? I'm just saying we have a tendency to do this. We especially do this when we're adolescents, okay? We're constantly comparing ourselves to other people. All right, still under the category of do you have a need to affiliate, We want to talk about getting along with other people. Getting along with other people. So the first thing we might want to talk about out of this, I told you this chapter kind of jumps a little bit, is interpersonal attraction. Let's talk about interpersonal attraction now in regards to people you might want to date, go out with, marry, and so on. Interpersonal attraction. You are going to become attracted to people who you live around or work around, go to school around. The people who you marry will be people who live probably within 6 to 8 miles of your residence. How about that one as a statement? No way, all right? No way. Okay? Now, 15 years ago, I used to say 2 to 3 miles. Now the research says 6 to 8 miles around you. Now think about that for a second. How do you meet the people you go out with? You meet them at school or work. All that's around you. Some people may be considered to be geographical undesirables, GUs. Okay? You meet someone somewhere, let's say at a club or something, okay, and you get talking to them and they say, well, where do you live? And they say, well, I live in Wichita Falls. And you go, wow, that's cold up there, or hot up there. What the hell is Wichita Falls? It's about 100 miles northwest there. And you go, oh. Well, hell, I ain't driving all the way up there just to see you. Sometimes we let people go, one, because of their physical proximity to us. That's there. Here's the second thing, and a lot of you are not going to like this statement. Long-distance relationships usually don't work. Sorry. Some of you graduated from high school back in May, and you're still going out with your high school sweetie, okay? And they went off to college, and you were here, and you're different places. You know when people break up? This coming weekend, or the weekend after that, because, you know, they've been away for a while, and then you get this, you know, maybe we should start seeing other people. Because long-distance relationships, it's hard to make them work. But you know what? What I've found in the last 10 years, we have so many different ways we can communicate with people, right? We've got Skype, okay? We can tweet, okay? We can text. We have all kinds of ways that we can communicate with people. So maybe that stuff is going to be reduced, that's there. It's going to be reduced. But it's very, very hard to have an intimate relationship when you have big distances with people. So the first thing we say is physical proximity. The people you go out with are probably going to be what? The people you meet who live around you, work around you. By the way, let me ask this question. And I should put this as a slide. If you're going out with somebody right now, where did you meet them? Did you meet them at school? Okay. Did you meet them at work? Okay. Did you meet them through a friend? Okay. Did you meet them at a bar or a club? No one else is raising their hand. I'm not. Some of you have. All right. Religious organizations. Anybody? Online dating? And let me tell you, online dating, when you ask people these questions, online dating is becoming more and more popular. We used to say it was only popular with people over 30, okay, because they were busy and stuff. But it's really diminishing. I mean, it's getting more and more popular with lots of people. That's there. So when you first meet someone, how do you become attracted to them? What turns you on? The number one reason is physical attractiveness. Okay? No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Okay? Don't you remember the first day you came in here and you all were checking each other out? White guys? No. Guys, women did the same thing. We look at people. You may first approach someone because you think they're physically attractive. We all know sometimes, though, you say, wow, they're really attractive. But then when you get talking with them, you may say, nice on the outside, but nothing on the inside here. What's the deal? Okay, and you walk away. Sometimes people who were not physically attracted to you in the beginning, once you got to know them, they became physically attractive to you. Isn't that an odd statement? No, it isn't. You're like, and your friends go, you really think he's handsome? Yeah, I think he really is. Really? Yeah, really. Well, that happens though, doesn't it? But I hate to say this because it sounds so superficial, but it's a fact. It's a fact. We first get attracted to people based on physical attractiveness. We also get attracted to people, what? Based on, this is an odd statement, based on competence. Now, what does that mean? Okay? Oh, I love you because you're a really good accountant? No. Okay? I love you because you're confident. That confidence you have, you're confident of yourself. And we get attracted to people who feel good about themselves. We get attracted to people who feel good about themselves. We get attracted to people who are similar to us, who have similar issues and values that we may have. All right, here we go. You ready? Some of you get very attracted to people who are opposite of you. Okay? Opposites do attract, but they don't usually stay together. Opposites do attract, they don't usually stay together unless they learn to teach each other about the opposite part. Like if you're extroverted and the person you're going out with is introverted, at first it's so great. Somebody just listens to me all the time. This is great. And the introvert is going, yeah, great. I don't have to talk. This is great. I'll listen. Okay? But then after a while, the extrovert then says, don't you ever talk? Talk to me. What's the deal here? And the introvert, as soon as you do that to an introvert, the introvert becomes what? More introverted, because it makes them too nervous. Then the separation comes. Maybe the extrovert needs to say, I'm going to be quiet. You talk now. I'd love for you to talk. Tell me what's going on. The introvert talks a little bit more. So what you wind happening is that the extrovert brings out the extroversion in the introvert, and then the introvert teaches the extrovert to listen a little bit better. Opposites attract. They don't usually stay together unless they can teach each other about the skills they have and balance each other off. Okay? People who are similar do get together. They are attracted, but a lot of times they don't have the passion that people who have opposites do. Okay, that's there. You're attracted to people who may be a little bit different for you, and sometimes that makes the healthiest relationships as well. As long as you can both move towards the middle, that's there. Similarities that are there. Self-disclosure gets you closer to somebody as well. What's self-disclosure? Opening up about yourself. Beginning to share what you think and what you feel. That's there. You're going out with somebody for 3 months now, and you say to the person, well, I really don't know you. Tell me about, where did you grow up? Waco. You grew up in Waco? How'd you get to Dallas? Job. Oh, cool. Was your family intact? Did your mom and dad, were they divorced or what? No? Okay. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Yeah, 3 brothers and 4 sisters. Whoa, that's a big family. What was it like growing up? Kind of normal. Right? Tell me something. Right? If you can't, you need to, open yourself up and share with somebody. Once people start doing that, you get closer to somebody. Don't you remember those conversations where you're talking about what you think about, what you feel about? People get closer. But it needs to be done in an appropriate way. Have you gone out with somebody and the first date you had with them, they tell you stuff, it's kind of like, good gosh, that's too personal. Yeah, it's too much. They self-disclose too much. Most relationships, you start a little bit, you share, get to know them, trust them a little bit more, share a little bit more. But self-disclosure also makes you more attractive and gets you closer to people as well. Thinking about your relationships? What is most desirable in a person? How similar they are to you? How different they are to you? How physically attractive they are? How financially stable they are? How smart they are? Did I ever do that list with you from a couple of chapters ago when we did human sexuality? What kind of characteristics do you want in a prospective partner? Remember we did that? That's similar to this. Remember, we all carry around those lists that are there. So how similar they are to you, how smart they are for some of you. Well, I hope so. You're in college, right? No one says how financially stable they are. In romantic relationships, it's most important to have what? A deep, burning passion for one another, warm closeness and sharing, a commitment to one another, or trust and affection because your lives are intertwined. Which one do you think is the most important? I kind of like all these. Which one you would think to be the most important, though, for you? Got it? All right. I'm good. I'm glad only 7% of you said a deep, burning passion for one another. Because that stuff don't last after a while. Okay? It really doesn't. Warmth, closeness, and sharing, boy, that's one of the characteristics of long-lasting relationships. Commitment, that's that big C word that's there, being committed to somebody. That's extremely helpful, obviously. Trust and affection because your lives are intertwined. Yeah, that's an important one. I hope they're not like so intertwined that you don't have yourself, because there's a concept here about relationships that work. The concept is called interdependency. Okay? Relationships where, watch my hands, where you have two people who are independent, they never get together. Okay? I'm doing my thing, you do your thing, and this is great. You don't want a relationship where people are so dependent on each other that they can't do anything without each other. What you want in the long run is interdependency. What is interdependency? We're like this in a relationship. Okay? We're doing our own thing. When I need you, I can lean on you. Thank you. I'm better now. I can lean on you. Thank you. I'm better now. Let me share things, but we also have our own lives as well. All right? We can share our own lives that are there. Let me just introduce this, because I want you to think about this when you go home. Interpersonal attraction. We're still on this. 3 components of love. Think about that word love, a simple 4-letter word. What does love mean? I love chocolate chip cookies. I love the Cowboys. I love you. What do you mean you love me? I love you. Well, I love you too. Oh, but I don't know if you love me like I love you. I think I'm in love with you. Oh, well, I'm not in love with you. Is there a difference between in love and love? Yeah. Is there a difference between lust and love? Yes. Yeah. Do you know the difference? Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes only time tells you if you're in lust or in love. Okay? A man by the name of Sternberg said that word love is so confusing. We use that all the time, and I don't know what it really means. He says if you look at relationships, okay, we might look at this 3 components of love. And when you look at 3 components of love, that might then lead us to different types of love. The 3 components of love are intimacy. What's intimacy? Is being able to share my thoughts, my feelings, and my body with you. Intimacy. Being able to share my thoughts, feelings, and then my body with you. Being intimate with you. Intimacy, okay, is that part that you have where you're really close to someone. You feel real close. Passion. What's that about? That's the energy you put into a relationship, right? Passion can be lust as well that's there, but it's the energy that you put into a relationship, the passion you have for the other person and or the relationship. And then that big C word, commitment. How committed are you to the relationship? Sternberg says that when you look at love, okay, types of love, you can look at it using those 3 components, and you have different types of love. So I'll just start this, and I'll finish this on Monday. If you don't have commitment, if you don't have passion, if you don't have intimacy, you don't have any type of love, right? That's non-love. You think people are married in non-love? Yeah. They don't get married while they're in non-love, but sometimes their marriage moves in that direction. Okay? What's romantic love? Oh, this is the one we all like, isn't it? This is the one we want to be in all the time. It's intimacy and passion. This is the beginning of dating and relationship. You're not committed yet. You're not a couple yet. You just want to see each other. You're sharing your thoughts, your feelings, maybe your body with them. You lust after them. You want to be around them. Right now you're saying, yeah, you're talking about my guy. You're talking about my woman. I can't wait to be with him. I picked up my daughter yesterday at the airport. And I love being at airports, especially at the holidays, because people come out of the gates and everybody's, ah! And there were 3 couples that got together. And this one guy came out and went, hi, and she jumped up in his arms. I thought she was going to collapse him. Okay, but they were hugging and kissing, and the parents were around going like that. It was so wonderful to see these people who were what? In love. Okay? That's romantic love, right? It's in love that's there. Sometimes in marriages, you start off this way, okay? Then you add the bottom part, down the bottom, consummate love, when you have all 3. Commitment, intimacy, passion. What research on marriage says is you don't keep that all the time through your marriage. Sorry, okay? I'm not saying it's a bad marriage, by the way, but sometimes you lose the passion. Sometimes you're not good friends with them anymore, the intimacy that's there. You can't lose the commitment. You lose the commitment, you may lose the marriage that's there. But you're getting this? So I want you just to think about this. Think about your relationships. You love your friends, don't you? Yes, you do. You love your friends. Well, what type of love is that? Where can we pinpoint that type of love? All right, so